Hi everyone, welcome back to our another HTML CSS and JavaScript project. And in this project we're going to create a similar code editor like Codepen. Here in my screen you can see that we have our project output. Here we have two sections. One is our writing code section, and in the right side we have our preview section. And here we have our three part HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And if we write any code here, those code will show in our this screen as a preview. Let me give you an example. Here I will simply write a h1 tag and close the h1 tag. And here I will write something. It will be this is h1. Here you can see that we have our h1. Now I will simply copy this line and then paste it here. And the code will be now h2. And here we have our h2. Now let's create a button, and now we have to close the button, and the button name will be sign up, and here you can see that we have our button. Now if we go to our CSS and let's add some styling, and here I will take h1 and I will change the color of the text, and the text color will be red, and here you can see that now our h1 is red. So I will simply copy this one again and then paste it here, and this time I will target the h2 and the color will be something like green. Now let's target our button, and here I will add a background, and the background will be black, and the color, text color will be white. That's it. Now here you can see that we have our sign up button, and the background is black and the font color is white. And here is our JavaScript. Our JavaScript part will also work if we add a function here, and if we define the function in JavaScript, then the button will work according to that function. And don't worry guys, this project is a beginner friendly project. I will show you every process step by step. Like this project, do you want a free and easy way to learn the fundamentals of programming? Then Brilliant is here. A huge shout out to them for sponsoring this video. Brilliant offers an excellent way to learn math, data science, computer science, programming, algorithms, etc. Brilliant can customize your content according to your skill level, allowing you to learn at your own pace. It's fun and interactive, featuring thousands of lessons from basic to advanced topics. Plus, they continuously add new lessons every month. The New Thinking in Code course, where you will uncover the magic of coding. Have you ever wanted to build a map navigator that can help you to find a destination, or how about creating a virtual assistant that can help you in your daily life? This course will show you how to turn these fun ideas into reality. You can explore everything Brilliant has to offer for free during a 30-day trial by visiting brilliant.org/tech2etc. or clicking the link in the description. The first 200 people will also receive a 20% discount on Brilliant's annual premium subscription. And if you want to learn more projects like this, then please do subscribe this channel, like this video and press the bell icon for the future videos. And if you guys have any question about this video, then please do let me know in my comment section. That's it guys, let's get started. Now open your favorite code editor and then create a new folder and drag that folder inside our VS Code. Now simply create a new file, and the file name will be index.html. Then we have to create another file, and the file name will be style.css. Then we have to create another file, and the file name will be script.js. That's it. Now here you can see that we have created our three files: index.html, style.css and script.js. Now let's go to our index.html file and simply create a HTML boilerplate, and let's change the title and it will be code editor. Let's link our style sheet. After that we have to link our script file as well. That's it. Now inside our body, let's create a section, and the class name of this section will be container. And inside this section, first of all, we have to create a h1 tag, and the h1 tag will be code editor. And let's add an emoji. That's it. Now save. And if I open our live server, here you can see that we have our h1 code editor. Now we have to create our this section, this coding section, and our this preview section. So for doing that, simply divide the screen. Now inside our section, let's create a div tag, and the class name of this div tag will be editor. And inside this div tag, we have to create two more div tag. One will be our this coding section, and another one will be our this preview section. So let's create a div tag, and the class name of this coding section will be left. Copy this div tag and then paste it here. And the second div tag will be for our this preview section, and the class name will be right. That's it. Now inside our left div tag, we have to create our this label and our this input section, this text area section. So for creating those, let's create a label. Right now we don't need any for, we just have to write HTML, and then we have to create a text area for our this text area section. And here we don't need any name, any columns and rows. We just need a ID, and the ID name will be HTML code. Now save, and if I go to our website, here you can see that we have our HTML and our text area. Now I will simply copy this label and text area and paste it 2 more times. Here it will be CSS, and the ID will be CSS code. This one will be JavaScript, and the text area will be JS code. Now save. Here you can see that we have our HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now let's go inside our right div tag, and we have to create our this preview section. So for that, I will simply paste the label and the text area again. From here, I will remove the text area, and the label will be output. That's it. And here underneath of our label, I will create a iframe, and here I don't need any source and any frame border. I just need a ID, and the ID will be output. Now save. And if I go to our website, here you can see that we have our output and our this iframe. Now after this, if we go to our online code editor, here you will see some icon. Here we have a HTML icon beside HTML label, a CSS icon beside our CSS label, and a JavaScript icon as well. That's why we have to insert this icon inside our code. For doing that, I will simply go to Google and I will search for box icon. Simply open this first link, box icon. First of all, we have to take the CDN link so that we can use these icons inside our code. And for taking that CDN, we have to go inside the usage, and here we have an option import the CSS, and here you will find import the CSS. So I will simply copy this link and go to our HTML, and after our style.css, I will simply paste this link inside our head tag, and now we can use the icons from box icon. Let's go to our icon, and here I will search for HTML, and this is the icon. Simply click on that icon, and from here you have to select the font, and from here you have to simply copy this I tag, and inside our label I will simply paste the HTML icon. Now let's go for CSS. This is the icon. Simply click and copy the I tag for CSS and paste that I tag here. Do the same for our JavaScript. This one, go to font and copy the I tag and then paste it here. And for our label output, I will simply use a play icon. Simply write play, and I will take this icon and copy this font and then paste it here inside our output. Now save, and if I go to our website, here you can see that we have our HTML icon, we have our CSS icon, JavaScript icon, and our this play icon. Now after our HTML, we have to style our this web page. So for doing that, let's go to our style sheet. First of all, I will import a font because I don't want to use this default font. That's why I want to use Google font. Simply search for Google font and open this first link and go to the search font, and here you have to search for Poppins, and from here you have to select the styles. I'm going to select the styles which I need inside this project, and go to the top right, and here you will find all the styles, and here you will find two options, one is link and one is import. Simply click on the import and copy this import, go to our style sheet and then paste it here. Then let's create some basic CSS, which is margin 0, padding 0, then box sizing, border box. And now I want to add the font also, and this is the font family. Simply copy the font family and then paste it here. Let's go to our website, and if I save the CSS file, here you can see that we have now changed the default font. Now it is Poppy. Now after changing the font, target our body, and here I will add a width of 100%, then height will be 100 VH. Then I want to add a color, and the color will be white. And after our body, let's go to our HTML, and from here I will simply copy this container class name and then paste it here. First I will change the background color, and the background color will be this one. Now save, and here I will write text align center because I want this heading to be in the center. Now save. That's it. Now after our container, let's target our h1, and here I will simply add a font weight, and the font weight will be 600. That's it. After this one, I will simply go to our HTML and copy this editor and then paste it here. And for our editor, I will simply set a different background color, and for that just add background, and this will be background color. Now save. Here you can see that we have now different background color. Now here you can see that all the text is in the center, but I don't want that. That's why I will use text align, and it will be a start. Now here you can see that all the text is now in the starting position. After this one, here you can see that if I go to our code editor, our this code section and our this preview section is in one row. So I want that here also. That's why I will use display, and it will be flex. Now save, and here you can see that our this coding section and our this output section is now in one row. Now I will add some padding from everywhere, and the padding will be 1 rep. Now save, and here we have some padding here. Okay. After this one, let's target our this coding section and our this output section. Let's go to our index, and here we have our left class name. Simply copy this left class name and then paste it here. Add a comma and take the right class name as well, and then paste it here. And here I will set the width for both of these sections. This one will take 50% of width, and this one will also take 50% of width. That's why we will use flex basis, and it will be 50%. And I want some extra padding from everywhere, and it will be 10 pixels. Now save. And here you can see that our this coding section is now taking 50% of width, and our this output section is also taking 50% of width. After doing that, let's target our this labels and the style name. That's why target our label, and it will be display flex. Then I want a line item center. Then I want a font size of 18 pixels. Now save, and here you can see that we have now our these labels, but this text label and our this icon is too close, and I don't want that. I want some space between them. So that's why I will simply copy label and target our icon. Then I want to add some space, and the space will be padding right, and it will be 5 pixels. Now save, and here you can see that now we have some space between them. After this, let's target our this text area. That's why add text area, And for the text area, I will use width of 100%. Then I will add some height, and the height will be 300 pixels. And I want to add a background, and the background color will be this one. Then I will change the font color, and the font color will be white. Now save. And here now you can see that we have our coding section. And from here, I don't want the border. Here you can see that we have a white border, and I don't want that. So that's why the border will be 0, and the outline will be 0 as well. Then I will add a font size, and it will be 18 pixels. Now save. And here you can see that we have our fonts, but I want to add some space in the left side of this font. So that's why I will add some padding, and the padding will be 10 pixels from top and bottom, and 20 pixels from left and right. Now save. And here you can see that we have now space from top, bottom, left and right. Okay. Now after this one, let's style our this output section. For doing that, let's target our iframe. And here I will simply copy this width and height and then paste it here. Width will be 100% and the height will be 95%. Now save. And here you can see that we have our preview section. I will change the background color and it will be white. Then I don't want any border here as well. 0, and the outline will be 0 as well. Now here you can see that we have our output section. Now after this, I want to add some spacing from top and bottom of our this heading. That's why let's go to our H1, and here I will add a padding, and the padding will be 1 rem. And here you can see that we have now spacing on the top and bottom of our this heading, and this is looking good. Now here you can see that if we do some spelling mistake, it is highlighting that text, but I don't want that. And for removing that spelling mistake feature, we have to go to our text area, and here we have to add a spell check, and it will be false. Now we have to do this here inside our text area for CSS and our JS as well. Now save. And if I write something here you can see that it is not showing as an spelling mistake. That's it. And here you can see that our HTML and CSS part is done. Now what we have to do is, if I write anything inside our HTML, that HTML tag or that HTML should show up here inside our output section. So for doing that, we have to go inside our JavaScript file and we have to write some script. Here in our website, you can see that we have 3 sections inside our coding. We have our HTML section, we have our CSS, and we have our JavaScript section. Now first of all, we have to take the values from our this text area, and depending on those values, we have to show or we have to change the styling or the preview here. Okay. That's why first you have to take the values from here, and for taking those values, we have to target these specific sections inside our JavaScript file. So for doing that, what you have to do is, first we will target our this HTML input, and let's create a function, and the function name will be run. And inside this run function, first of all, I will target our HTML input section. So for targeting, let's take a variable, and the variable name will be HTML code. Now for targeting our HTML input section, HTML text area, if I go to our index, here you can see that we have ID for our that text area. We have to take this ID. So for taking the ID, we have to add document dot get element by ID, and here we have to add the ID, and the ID is HTML code. Now similarly, we have to take our CSS text area values and JavaScript text area values. So that's why I will simply paste this line 2 more times, and here it will be CSS code, and for the CSS code we have a different CSS ID. Here you can see that CSS code, and that's why it will be CSS code. And for our JavaScript, we have to take a different variable, and it will be JS code, and the ID will be different, and here it will be JS code. That's it. Now after taking all 3 text area, we have to target our this output also, because depending on these values, we will show or preview our output here. So that's why we have to take the output as well. Let's paste this line again, and let's change the variable name and it will be output, and we will take the output. Here you can see that we have ID iframe. So I will simply copy this ID output and then paste it here. That's it. Now if I write anything inside our this HTML file, I want to show up those text or those code inside our this output section. So for doing that, we have to take our this output. So this output is actually stored inside our this output variable. So I will simply take that output variable. Then I will write content document dot body, because this is a part of body of our web page of our browser. So that's why it will be body, and here it will be inner HTML. Now inside our this preview section, I want to show the values of our this HTML. So that's why this HTML is actually stored inside our HTML code variable, and I want to show the values of our this HTML section here inside our output section. So we have to add value dot value. Now here you can see that all of this code is actually read inside a function which is run, and we have to call this run function every time we write a single character inside our this text field. So for doing that, let's go to our index, and here inside our text area of our HTML, we have to add a function, and the function will only initiate if anyone write something inside our this text field. That's why we have to use on key up, and here we have to add the function which is run. Now I will simply copy this on key up function inside our CSS text area and inside our JS text area as well. Now save, and if I go inside our HTML text area and if I write something, here you can see that our output is showing here. If I add a tag h1 and this is heading, you can see that our HTML heading is actually working inside our output. It means if anyone writes any character here inside our this text area, this onKeyUp function is working, and inside our this onKeyUp we have our run function, and this run function is actually here. This is the run function. Okay. If anyone write anything inside our text area, our run function will work. It will take the HTML values and put those values inside our output section. So now if I want to style our this heading, what we have to do is we have to add some styling also. Now if I add any styling here, it will not work, because inside our output we are actually adding only our HTML code. We have to add our styled code also. So that's why we have to add our CSS code dot value. That's it. Now if I write any CSS styling here, it will not work, because our CSS is not actually text like HTML. It is an styling component. So that's why we have to add a style here, a style tag, and close the styling tag. Now save, and if I write a h1 tag, close the h1 tag. Now let's go to our style sheet and add some styling for our h1. Let's change the color, and the color will be red, and here you can see that our font color is now changed. It means our HTML and our this CSS both are working. Now we have to make sure our this JavaScript is also working. So for making our JavaScript section working, we have to take our output. Again, we have to take our content window, and this time we have to evaluate what we are writing inside our this JavaScript. That's why we have to take our evaluation function, and here inside we have to take our JS code and we have to check the value. Okay. Now here you can see that if I write any JavaScript code, this JavaScript code will be evaluated by our content window, and this content window will show the changes inside our output, which means our this output section. Now save, and if I go to our website, now inside our HTML, what I will do is I will simply add a h1 tag, then I will add a button. Now let's create a div tag, and the ID is my div, and inside our div tag we have our another h1 and it is hello. And now I will add some styling for our my div. Here you can see that we have added width 300 pixel, height 300 pixel, background color, and our font color. So this is our CSS. Now after our CSS, let's add some JavaScript code. I will simply create a simple function, and the function name is my function. And what this function will do is, if I click on this right button, this will change the color of our this box. Let's check this. If I click on this right button, here you can see that our this background color is now changed to light blue. And that's it, guys. Here you can see that our HTML part, our CSS, and our JavaScript part is also working inside our this preview section. Now let's try add something complex. Let's go to our Codepen, and I will take some complex things from here. And I want to check if this code is actually working inside our code editor or not. And here you can see that we have a login form. So I'll simply open this login form. And for this login form, we have our HTML code and our CSS code also. So I'll simply copy this HTML code and then paste it here. Here you can see that we have our login and our this input area for our username and password. Then we have a button of submit. Let's take the CSS code from here and paste the CSS code here. And here you can see that our login form is also working, and our this animation is also working inside our output. And that's it, guys. Here you can see that we just have created an online code editor like Codepen using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This was a beginner friendly project, and I hope you guys enjoyed this project. And if you want more projects like this, then please do subscribe this channel, like this video, and press the bell icon for the future videos. And if you guys have any question about this video, then please do let me know in my comment section. That's it, guys. See you in our next tutorial.